Hi Virgo, welcome to Sweet Tea Astrology and Tarot. My name's Erica. Welcome to the channel. How are you doing? I hope that you're well. Why don't you sit a spell so we can talk about the stars? We're going to start the month of November with the Sun in Scorpio. This is your third house, Virgo. The third house is the house of communications. It's the house of your short distance journeys. It's the house of dealing with your siblings, cousins, and neighbors. Now, communication is a broad topic in itself. That is how you speak. It's how other people understand you. It's how you understand others. It's your communication devices. It's your commute, how you get from point A to point B. That can be your vehicle or the actual route. So, that's where we're starting off the month. On November the 8th, if you live in America, this is Election Day. Please use your right to vote. Please exercise your civic duty, and please make sure that you are an informed voter. We have more than just a presidential candidate to vote for. If you don't agree with who's on the ballot, write somebody in. You can write me in. I do not care. Just get out and vote. It is your responsibility. It is your duty as an American citizen. All right, I'll jump off my soapbox now. On the 9th or on the 10th, depending on where you live on the planet, we're going to have Mars, the planet of energy, impulse, and aggression, moving into Aquarius. This is your 6th house. The 6th house is the house of work and health, or the competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. So, Mars moving into that area, you may be feeling a little bit aggressive at work, or you may be feeling a little aggressive in your workout routine. I would suggest to work out and use this energy for what it's worth. You may actually enjoy the benefits it brings you. On the 11th or 12th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we have Venus representing love, beauty and harmony, money and resources, moving into Capricorn. This is your 5th house. The 5th house is the house of pleasure-seeking, social life, creativity, children, creative endeavors, creative pursuits. It's also the house of the lottery. With Venus moving into the 5th house, I would suggest buying a lottery ticket at the about the second week, beginning of the third week. Don't break the bank, but Venus moving into that area could be really nice. It's also a really nice place for feeling the romance. You might be feeling the butterflies in your stomach, because that's where you fall in love and where you make your babies. On the 12th or the 13th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we'll have Mercury representing thought, communication, and movement, moving into Sagittarius. This is your 4th house. The 4th house is the house of your family and your home. It's who you share your home with. That can be your spouse, your partner, your children, your fur babies, or your roommates, parents, people you consider parents to be. It could also speak to your roots and foundation, so pay attention to that area. You may be getting messages about that sort of stuff. On the 14th or 15th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we'll have a full moon at 22 degrees of Taurus. This is occurring in your 9th house. The Sabian symbol for 22 degrees of Taurus reads, a jewelry shop filled with valuable gems. And how I interpret this to be is that we're going to find diamonds in the rough, hidden treasure, buried treasure, or just things that we never valued before, now valuing them in the 9th house, because this is where the full moon is happening for you. 9th house is long distance trips, adventures and questing. It's also philosophy and religion and foreign language, the study of those things. It's legal system matters. It's politics. It's foreign people, foreign places, foreign things. On the 19th or 20th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we have Neptune representing addiction, nebulousness, illusion, and imagination, going direct in Pisces, and this is going to feel like you're coming out of the fog. It's going station direct. It's not moving direct yet, but it's going to start feeling like you're coming out of the fog in your 7th house. The 7th house is dealing with your partnerships and how you identify with others. It's also open enemies and counseling. On the 21st of the month, we have two things happening. The first is the Sun moving into Sagittarius, your 4th house of home and family, or roots and foundation. The second thing is Jupiter in your second house and Pluto in your fifth house will be blending nicely together. So that paired with Venus hanging out, I would say 20th to the 26th, 27th, 28th would also be a good time for buying a lottery ticket because it's more fifth house energy. The second house, where Jupiter has been and will be for until about October of next year, is the house of your values, possessions, money, self-esteem, earning ability. Anything you could point at and say mine would probably classify as a second house item. Fifth house is creation, creative ability, creative pursuits. It's the house of romance and where you fall in love. It's your pleasure, it's your social life, and it's your children. It's where you fall in love and where you make your babies. So you may be making a baby that day. If you're trying to, it'd be a good time. Even more so because on the 25th or 26th, depending on where you live on the planet, we've got Venus conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn in your fifth house. Venus is amplifying the Plutonian energy. That's what the word conjunct means. It's an amplification of the energies that are present. Venus being love, harmony, beauty, money, resources, and Pluto, deep renewal, deep transformation. Girl. Fifth house energy, you could be really feeling the love. Or you could really be winning the Powerball. It may just happen for one person. If it does, congratulations. Let me know about it in the comments below. On the 29th or 30th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we've got a new moon that will be occurring in 7 degrees of Sagittarius. This is your fourth house. Once again, the house of home, family, roots, and foundation. So, that's what I'm seeing for us going on for Virgos for the month of November. Hang tight, y'all. I'm going to grab my cards, shuffle a couple times off camera, ask for the general messages for my Virgo viewers, and I'll be right back, y'all. Hang tight. Hey Virgo, I'm back with the cards. Going to do a couple of shuffles on screen for your benefit. This is a general reading for my Virgo viewers. One more shuffle at the cut. Bottom card for the underlying theme or the overarching energy, and the top 3 for clarity. Also going to pull for you 2 Sacred Rebels Oracle cards from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. The artwork is by Autumn Sky Morrison. Alright, gonna cut. The bottom card and the top card from this deck. And finally, I'm going to pull from the Healing and Meditation Oracle deck. It's been a minute since I've used this little deck, and I wanted to bring it back. I'm trying to figure out which cards I'm going to use for the mid-month. Alright, we just had one fall. I'm going to pull the bottom card. Alright. Give me a quick second. I'm going to flip these over, do the math, and I'll be right back with your story. Hang tight, Virgo. Hey, Virgo, I'm back with your cards, so let's get started. The first that we got, the underlying theme or the overarching energy, is the 9 of Swords upright. This is the insomnia card. This is up late worrying about stuff. It's in your head. Thinking about that argument that you had earlier in the day or whatever, and I should have said, could have said, would have done this. The swords represent air sign energy. The air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. It could involve someone of this sign. It could be their sun, their moon, or their rising sign, or they could just have a lot of that energy in their chart. You are having Mars move into Aquarius. I can't ignore the symbology of the swords. Mars rules cutting. And it's also dealing with swords being an air sign. So it could be that you're up late at night worried about work or health. The background majority color of the card is black, so I need to remind you that it's always darkest before dawn. You are having a full moon in the 9th house. You could be feeling insomnia related to the full moon. I know I do. My sleep cycle is dictated by the lunar cycles. If it's a full moon, give 3 days before, 3 days after, I'm not getting a whole lot of sleep. I just can't. And I don't do a whole lot of sleeping anyways. I need to really start liking coffee, and that's something I've never started. I've always drank Dr. Pepper or green tea or something like that, but maybe I need to embark on a coffee journey. Okay, the first of the top 3 for clarity is the 8 of Wands in reverse. This 8 represents the Scorpio-ruled 8th house of the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, transformation and metamorphosis and regeneration. It speaks to other people's money, and it also speaks to sexuality. One thing that I didn't mention for the 9 of Swords upright is the 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius, so you may be concerned about Sagittarius as well, or involving a Sagittarius. The Wands represent fire signs, which are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I can't speak. I see this card even in the reverse as fast, heated messaging going back and forth one way or another. With it being the rods or the wands, it could be sexual in nature. And I say that because of the other cards that are following. It could be that this starts out because you are tired or can't sleep and it ends up bleeding over. And yeah. The second card is the Queen of Wands, and the reason why I say it could be like a sexting situation is because of up late at night, fast messaging could be of the sexual nature because of the rods or the wands, if I could speak. Okay, second card, Queen of Wands. She is a feminine fire sign, probably acts age 40 or above, mature, courageous, brave, but is not afraid to jump up and smack you if she needs to. The Queen of Wands, I think of Leo whenever I see her, or the sun's movement because of this sunflower. The sun is moving into a fire sign of Sagittarius in the 4th house. You may be dealing with a fiery female at home, or you may be dealing with your mom or dad. But feminine, you may have been doing communication that you shouldn't have been doing, and this Queen of Wands is found out because she's looking at the devil, and the devil's in reverse. Now, the devil, don't be afraid. It's just a picture on a card. It represents stuff. The devil is the 15th card of the major arcana. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6. This is your work and health, or the daily minutia of things. You've got Mars moving into the 6th house. Mars is a masculine. It's a aggressive, sexually potent sign, or sexually potent energy. Devil in reverse could be that you are dealing with the fallout of a sexual situation that was going on at work. Or you may be dealing with sexual health problems. The Queen of Wands being upright, I feel like this is somebody that you are dealing with, or you, Virgo, have Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius strongly in you. But she's eyeing down this devil who's in reverse, which means whatever it is that is been secretive is coming out into the light. The devil card is a major arcana. He represents Capricorn, and that's where Venus is moving into. That's your 5th house. That's where babies are made. That's your creation. That's your pleasure seeking and your social life. That's your children. In the upright, it means confronting your own self-limitations, but in the reverse, it's like you are being confronted by someone over it, and I feel like it is this Queen of Wands, and because of the confrontation, you're up all night, and it's probably got you sick even. The person that you're dealing with could be a foreigner because of this 9th house representation in the swords. So yeah, that's a pretty heavy little reading right there, Virgo. I didn't want it to be like that, but that's what I'm seeing. And you've got a lot of 5th house energy. That's where you fall in love. That's where you flirt. That's the beginning of romance. So if you're single and this is happening, then you're up late and you're giddy because you know, it's the beginning of something new. But if you're with somebody, then this takes on a whole different situation. And this Queen of Wands, I can speak as an Aries sun. If this was me, you would not want to deal with me finding out about this sort of stuff. I would make you want to stay up late at night. You would be thinking about what you would want to say to me to cut me. I'm just saying. This 8 of Wands, it really feels like it's like back and forth messaging. And it's secretive because it's in the reverse. It's like you get found out and it's got you messed up. And if it's not cheating, then it's like dealing with stuff that is taboo. It's drug use, it's prostitution, it's sending pictures of yourself, or somebody doing that. You're dealing with this situation. Sorry, y'all. That's how the cards are speaking to me. Work or health. Yeah, if it's... You're going to have to deal with this Queen of Wands, and she's in the upright, so it's not like she's coming at it from a fucked up perspective. Okay, and if you want to go even further into this... This card represents Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. Virgo, you also are an earth sign. This full moon is in an earth sign, happening in the 9th house. It's just a lot of synchronicity playing out. So it's like fast messaging, heated messaging, fighting, arguing, debating. But this Queen of Wands has her facts right, and she's going to mess you up. Don't come at her half-stepping. You will regret it. You've got black in the 9, and 15, 1 plus 5 is 6. So it's always darkest before dawn in the 6th and 9th house. Work and health, daily life. And foreign people, foreign places, foreign things, long distance trips, adventures and questing. So yeah. I also pulled 2 Sacred Rebel Oracle cards for you. The first is the 17th card, which is what is already with you. 1 plus 7 is 8, speaking to that 8th house energy. You aren't having any astrological 8th house energy, but I think this 8 goes back to the 8 of Wands, or rods. It's like you have to deal with this and you have to release it, whatever this is. This is the letting go process. You have to be brave. You have to reject the ideas of nostalgia and regret right now. It also feels and seems like whatever you're seeking is right under your nose, which may only make the Queen of Wands more pissed off. But you need to embrace the mentality of the Queen of Wands and be brave and be willing to dig deep. But you also need to embrace the surrender, because you may have to surrender something. It may be a situation where the Queen of Wands isn't going to put up with it anymore. If it isn't you, it's surrounding you. The second card that you got is Faith in the Process. This is the 32second card of the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. 3 plus 2 is 5, and honey, boo-boo, child, baby doll, sweet pea, love, you have got a lot of focus on that 5th house. So if you are not an artist, please, please, please make sure that you are not doing anything that would make babies if you aren't wanting to take care of them babies. Also, watch out for your children and their baby making. Children can also include fur babies. She's got a raven on her shoulder. I see this as a spirit, animal, totem, messenger. Look up what the raven means, and there may be spiritual resonant messages for you in that. The little wagon that she's in actually has the word faith written right here. You can't really see it because of the lighting and the reflection, but she's in a little red wagon. She's got a raven on her shoulder or back. She's got a raven right here kind of leading her. You've got butterflies in this other one. The butterflies always represent the 8th house for me. I always think about that because they start out a caterpillar and they turn into a cocoon and then they turn into something completely different. It's that cycle that I think of 8th house wise. But Faith in the Process is, when I see this card, I think that it's a time for trust in the process. It's a time for being unafraid to embrace humility. Look at her. She's completely nude. She's vulnerable. She's praying. She is, barely fitting in this wagon and being led by ravens. Having faith in the process, having faith in and trust in the process, but relaxing and being open to that process as well. Having faith in it and actually allowing yourself to go through it are two different things. You've got to relax and be open to it as well. And it could feel like a time of trial. It could feel like a time of struggle and a time of strife. But you have a lot of creativity going on inside of you, and I think that with that creativity energy, you can definitely think of a way outside of the box to help make this situation heal or resolve in a more appropriate way. Acceptance, right? Surrender, right? This is the first of the two of the healing and meditation oracle cards that I pulled for you. The first is acceptance. Accept what's going on around you and understand that you have a part in it, but also make other people be responsible for their parts in it. Don't take on other people's bullshit. And you can do that, Virgo. You can take it on just to try to make it better and not seem so fussy. Because Virgos get sick of that typecasting of being fussy. You can be. You don't realize that you are. And I have some Virgos in my world. I'm not hating on you. I love my Virgos. We need you. We need every sign in the zodiac to make this world what it is. But Virgos can be very, 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 very annoying if they aren't getting what they want. My fiance is a Virgo moon, and I have a 0-degree Virgo sun. He is the child that I share a rising sign and rising degree with. So, yeah. Accept that what's going on. Accept your peace in the process and make other people be responsible for theirs. Don't take on their bullshit. Many people find it hard to accept themselves for what they are, and as a consequence suffer from low self-esteem. If you are afflicted by doubts of this kind, repeat these mantras to yourself. These mantras for acceptance are more effective if you do them in a receptive state of mind. The mudra, or ritual gesture for receptivity, is to sit cross-legged on the floor or in a chair with your palms facing upward. Didn't I tell you to embrace the surrender? Isn't that a part of acceptance? My goodness, y'all. May I accept the facts. May I not fight against the facts. May I appreciate that the closing of one door opens another door. May I be at peace with the situation. Second is awakening. In order to get in touch with your inner being, you need to undergo a process of gradual awakening. For this to be successful, empty your mind of passing worries and anxieties and focus on the thoughts of freshness and renewal. I have been in a deep and restful sleep. I am now awakening to a new world. May I remain open to whatever unfolds. Nature is coming to life all around me as if it were the beginning of spring. Now that last one's a stretch, especially if you live in the northern hemisphere, because we're actually transitioning from the period of life and bounty to the period of harvest and fall into winter and lean. So, Virgo, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. If you already have, I appreciate it from the bottom of my very, very grateful heart. Thank you so much. Please employ your self-care measures. Be kind to yourself and save some of that kindness for others, because we're all going through very private battles in our own worlds that some of us may never speak about to another living soul. Take care of yourselves. It costs nothing to be kind. I'll be around mid-month to pull you some cards for guidance. I'm working on the December research, and I'm also working on my 2017 highlight research. So I hope to have those videos shot before Mercury retrograde. Fingers crossed. They may not all be released at that time, but they'll at least be done and ready and waiting for y'all. So, take care, y'all. I'll see you mid-month. Bye.